Hey everybody, welcome into New World News. And over the weekend, June 4th, June the 5th, and June 6th, 2022, there were more mass shootings, more deaths, more casualties, and it's just another day in America, and more calls for gun control, more calls for mental health evaluations and help, and just an entire country in the middle of what seems to be a violence crisis, not a gun crisis. It's a mental health and violence crisis. And at least one of those shootings that was in Philadelphia, it looks like it's possible, and they were saying and stating that it's possible it was gang related or a fight related. This wasn't just a crazy person walking into a church or a entertainment district and just shooting it up. It was actually related to a fight, violence, an argument, some kind of confrontation and conflict between two groups of people, and a shooting rang out, and many people were shot. Several were killed. So this isn't, again, there's a lot of mental health issues, a lot of violence issues. We just have a whole bunch of problems in this country, and it is not a gun problem. Even if you take the guns away, people with criminal backgrounds who are already illegally in possession of weapons are still going to illegally have those weapons. So I wanted to take you over to the news story here, check it out a little further in depth, and then hopefully I can get some of your reactions and comments and concerns and questions down below in that comment section, because that is going to belong to all of you, and I appreciate you checking in for the video. Let's go over and take a look at it and see what these shootings led to this weekend. Okay, so here's from NBC News, at least 12 dead in another weekend of mass shootings across America. From Philadelphia to Chattanooga, Tennessee, multiple shooters involved. The first weekend of June had a greater number of mass shooting deaths in the United States than the previous three-day weekend, which ended with Memorial Day. The tally for the weekend violence through Sunday night was at least 12 killed and 38 injured in mass shootings, which is defined by the Gun Violence Archive in an incident in which 4 or more people are shot or killed, not including the shooter. During the holiday weekend, 9 were killed and more than 60 were injured in attacks fitting that definition. As Americans debate the possibility of new gun regulations in the wake of the horrific Uvalde school attack, gun violence seemed to continue unabated with the official start of summer, June 21st, and its hottest night still ahead. The most notable violence this week took place in Philadelphia, where 3 were killed and 12 injured, and in Chattanooga, Tennessee, which saw its second weekend in a row of mass shooter violence, this time with 2 dead and 12 others injured from gunfire. A third person died after being struck by a car. Wow, what bad luck. Other attacks included Clarendon County, South Carolina. A late Saturday graduation party outside a residence was interrupted by a drive-up shooting that may have involved 2 vehicles. A 32-year-old woman struck by gunfire died Sunday morning, it said. 7 others, including children aged 12 to 17 and a 36-year-old, were injured. The violence might have been gang-related, a.k.a. they know it's gang-related, but they have to say might. At least 60 to 70 rounds fired, it said, and it's not clear as of yet if some of the rounds may have been return fire from subjects at the party. And also in Saginaw, Michigan, early Sunday, a shooting killed 3 people, including 2 men, at the scene, and a woman who was hospitalized but did not survive. 2 men injured in the attack were hospitalized, and in Mesa, Arizona, early Sunday, 2 people were killed and 2 others injured in a shooting at a nightclub. 3 suspects who allegedly sped away in a vehicle were chased by officers, ultimately stopped and arrested in connection with the attack. Again, that sounds like violence, maybe gangs or altercation. 2 men pronounced dead at that scene. The injured also at the venue were hospitalized for non-life-threatening injuries. In Bibb County, Georgia, Sunday night, sheriff deputies responded to reports of shots fired in an abandoned home, and found 4 people down, including 19-year-old Cleveland Rains of Macon, who later died at the hospital. 3 other victims, 19, 23, and 22, were identified and taken to the medical facility. Origins of the attack under investigation. In Phoenix, early Saturday, a 14-year-old girl was killed and 8 others injured when an argument between multiple parties escalated with shots fired at a party. About 100 people were at the party inside a strip mall building in the area of 10th Avenue and Hatcher. Again, that is gang violence or an altercation between 2 groups of people, a fight, whatever you want to call it, not a mass shooter that we would normally think of. The 14-year-old girl was pronounced dead after she was taken to the local hospital. 2 other adult women sustained life-threatening gunshot wounds, and 5 men sustained non-life-threatening, and 1 teenage boy. Shannon Watts, founder of the group Moms Demand Action, which seeks to curb gun violence, noted on Twitter that the violence isn't abating. Last month it was New York, Texas, California. This weekend it's Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, address to the nation last Thursday, President Joe Biden called on Congress to act on proposals to curb sales of semi-automatic rifles like the AR-15. How many of these shootings involved AR-15s? Can we get a report on that? It sounds like a lot of this was handgun fire. Though the weapon has been used in some of the nation's worst mass shootings, authorities in the weekend's attacks did not single out this style of weapon as the culprit. Exactly. So it wasn't used in any of these shootings, yet here we are talking about them and we want to ban them, yet they didn't appear in not one of these incidents. The president's plea came after 19 children and 2 teachers were fatally shot at the elementary school in Uvalde, Texas on May 24th. On May 14th, a gunman allegedly motivated by racism and hatred killed 10 at the grocery store in a black community of Buffalo, New York. And so that's where we're at with that. Unfortunately, it's just going to keep continuing. There are bad people. There are gangs. There are fights. There are mentally ill people. There are all kinds of issues that are far, far bigger than a gun issue, I assure you. But as always, I'll listen to your comments, questions, concerns, and any kind of input you have down in the comments section below. Please use it. It belongs to all of you. And I really do appreciate when you take the time to leave me a comment. And YouTube loves it as well with the engagement on the video. Make sure you hit that like button for the video and make sure you're subscribed before you leave. It just takes 1 click, 1 second, and subscribing will really help me out. Appreciate everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see everyone next time.